In this video, I'm covering California's crippling debt, Black Friday, credit card delinquencies, and job reports. So subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on any updates in the global and financial stage. Let's jump in. So let's jump to the main topic of the video. That's California's crippling debt. California used to be a great state. You got beaches, you got mountains, you got the Hollywood sign, it's the home of celebrities, but it's not that anymore. California today is different. It's facing a $68 billion deficit called out by the state analysts. This Democratic-led state is in a lot of trouble. So let me break it down for you. Home sales are down by half. Tech, despite doing really good in the market, it saw an 80% drop since 2021 in California. Next is income tax in Cali, which is the highest at 13.3% compared to every other state in America. Now, that's not something you want to be leading in as a metric. So the question is, what's happening in California? Why isn't the governor, Gavin Newsom, able to satisfy the population? And as it turns out, there's a number of reasons for that. I'm going to run them by. Number one, commitment made to voters are not being fulfilled. Number two, not enough housing and not enough infrastructure to support the population and growth. And number three, there's not enough employment because businesses are moving out. The unemployment rate in California is 1% higher than the national unemployment rate in America. So the national unemployment rate is 3.9 and the unemployment rate in California is 4.8. So no doubt California has a lot of issues, and so does every other state. But instead of uniting and facing the issue, Governor Gavin Newsom is actually blaming it on delayed tax filing deadlines. So it's not because of his poor policy decisions that California is suffering. No, it's not that. Why would it be that? It's actually because of the delayed tax filings. Well, what I'm not going to do is continue misleading you like Mr. Newsom. I'm going to tell you for what it is. So the real reason why California is under debt and their tax revenues are decreased is because people are moving out of California to places like Texas, to places like Florida for a better life. So we're seeing it constantly in the news. Places like Florida and Texas, they have it cheaper, they have it better than what California offers. So Mr. Gavin Newsom to say that delayed tax filings are the reason for his poor performance is shameful, and he should really face the issues instead of hiding behind fake lies. Enough of California, let's move on to the holiday season. Alright, so as Black Friday and Christmas approach, the media is outright lying to you with these headlines. The average consumer is led to believe that the sales are higher than last year when they're not. Let me explain. Let's start with the actual stats that really matter. Brick and mortar shop sales actually remained quite low at 2.9% than compared to last year. Although online shopping did increase, it only accounts for about 10% of total revenue. If you combine it all together, it still remains at subpar at best. So the truth is that this Black Friday was a dud. It was going to happen sooner or later. Living conditions are dropping, rates are high, inflation is high, people are in record debt, so they simply don't have the money and the resources to participate in Black Friday. Now the question becomes, why would the media try to mislead the consumers? What's their motive behind it? Well, that's because stores like Nike and Adidas and every other store, they need you to be optimistic about the future of sales so that you feel more inclined to make purchases. You see, it's all about consumer sentiment and the way consumer feels. That's what really drives the market. And that's why the big corporations like Nike and Adidas, they're in coalition agreement with media companies, because guess what? Media controls what we see. Media controls what we're fed and our sentiment. It controls all of it. But what I really want you to get out of this is that stores are actually not performing that well, and don't let the media mislead you. Now to the next segment, which is credit card debt. Alright, sobering news. America hit $1 trillion in credit card debt. So this number actually saw a massive jump in the year of 2023. And this number also tells us that Americans are spending money that they don't really have. And I get it. It's easier to spend money that doesn't belong to you. That's why most people use credit over debit. Credit is made to be simpler. It's made to be easier. So the point I want to drive home is that Americans are struggling. Although not covered by the media, stats like credit card debt are often the future indicators of a future recession. Now to the next segment is jobs report. Alright, so the Bureau of Labor Statistics released its job reports last Friday. Employers added 199,000 jobs in November. The unemployment number dropped to 3.7% from 3.9%, so we saw a decrease in unemployment. So what was expected by the analysts before the stat came out? Economists were expecting net job gains of 180,000 for the month and for the unemployment rate to hold steady. Again, unemployment rate is a very, very strong indicator that the Fed looks at a lot when deciding their policy decisions. Nonetheless, this job report came out really, really strong. All right, now to the Moonshot Meter, let's talk about it. All right, so it looks like regulations have caught up with AI because the European Union has introduced their AI Act. The legislation bans harmful AI practices considered to be a clear threat to people's safety, livelihoods, and rights. Videos coming out from Gaza shows prisoners of war. They were asked to take off their tops to ensure they were not wearing a suicide vest. Some claim that the video was staged. Comment down below whether or not you think it was staged. And number 3, Michigan shooter who shot and killed 4 students point blank is sentenced to prison for life without parole. He's 17 years old. With that said, this video took a dark turn at the end, but that just gives us more reason to be grateful for our life and be happy every day. With that said, if you found this video helpful in any way, hit the subscribe and hit the like. Take care.